I want to thank the community, all of you that came before the chamber this afternoon. I know it's a long hour here, but at the end, we hear from you. All are valid. We have a decision to make. First of all, I want to tell you a fact that I can't deny the fact that I'm Indian by birth, so I have nothing to do with China. Neither can I deny the fact I am Chinese by descent, but I'm Canadian by choice. I was born in India, left the country in 1974 for a simple reason, because my parent that was born in 1922 in India, before India became independent, was denied Indian citizen. I'm not going to go to detail about the suffering my parents go through in India. So I went back to India the first time in 1979, 5 years after I left India, to meet my future wife. And I was surprised to be asked by the pass control officer, where did I bought my Indian passport? Of course, I was mad, and guess what? I didn't return to India for the next 20 years until 1994, because I have to go back, as I want to take my whole family. To see my dying grandmother. Before she passed away. Well, I was still uncomfortable with the environment at that time, and my children asked me why we have to come back to India, and I have no answer. When I was elected in 2010 at Markham Council, a group of Indian Hakka Chinese came up to me and say, Joe, now you are an elected person, you are in a position now to tell the Indian government to apologize and ask for compensation for all the property they confiscated during the war. I'm a municipal politician. I don't want to get into federal politics. So I told them it would be difficult for me to get into that territory. I tried 3 times for federal parliament. I didn't succeed, so I don't have a choice to get into that territory. So instead, I asked community leader, Indian community leader, so there is a situation here. What should I do? They told me, Joe, you can have a 5-minute glory champion on this issue, go on an offensive to ask Indian government for apology, but at the end, the Indian community is going to hate you, right? So the policy I came up with, I teamed up with Horticulture Center with the Canadian diversity to bring my Hakka Chinese from India, which is about 20,000 strong here, with Indian to have a Bollywood singing. That's how we try to bridge the gap. So I basically told my people, now it's time to forgive and move on. Anyway, so that was part of India history. Now, obviously, when I ran for office, I didn't have an easy life. I have people here in this room here, I don't mind, because I always speak in front, the truth. So Dr. Ng is here this afternoon here. I may have bitterness about him for losing 3 elections for what he did to me, right? Because whatever the Toronto Star wrote in that time of the moment was not true. But my lawyer told me, Mr. Lee, if you want to fight in a court against Toronto Star, do you have the money? Well, I don't have the money, right? So he said, well, the only choice you have is to bite your tongue, choose your word carefully next time. So I'm bitter about losing 3 elections. But if I'm going to be revengeful, then today is the best chance for me to take revenge on Dr. Ng, because he's a champion of what you want to do here in this chamber, right? But again, I have to move on with my life. 2010, when I got elected, I remember very clearly at the regional council ceremony, Dr. Ng had the courage to walk across me to try to shake hands with me. At that moment, I was still not comfortable because I still could not forgive him what he did to me. And I walked away, I went to the washroom. And I came out, my wife told me, you can't do this, okay? Because you cannot carry the hatred for the rest of your life. Look at what Nelson Mandela did. He could have killed all the white people when he came to power, but he chose not to, because otherwise all the white people is going to run away from South Africa, and South Africa will be dead, right? So, maybe, that was the first time. I always joke about when my wife tells me to go east, I always go west. That was the first time, I listened. So I say, okay, when I meet Dr. Ng next time, if he come to extend his hand, by all means, I will just smile and extend my hand too. So life move on. So occasionally he come across me, I just pretend everything is in the past now. Let's move on. So I know all of you that came to this room here, you have a history coming from your back country. I am bitter what India did to my parents. I am bitter what Dr. Ng did to me. But, you want to think about the future, right? This may be an opportunity to come together and build, try to cross bridges and say, hey, let's move on, right? So I know it's a sensitive issue. The last few days I was bombarded with email. Quite frankly, I never got that many emails since I was elected, right?
Sure, I'll send you some tomorrow.
Because someone speculated that I may be the deciding vote today.
Pressure time.
Well, that's what happened.
So I am elected, so I want to do my due diligence too. I have a chance, because I'm always open. Councillor Andrew Key showed me his report, what he did. I appreciate his time that taken to do what is best for his ward. So yeah, he asked me to take a copy. I said, no, that's your homework. So I'm going to do my homework, right? So this morning, no different than any time I have faced with a sensitive issue, the first thing I do is I go out early in the morning to the train station, which I did this morning. So there will be testament from people who met me in the GO train station. I asked them this simple question: what do you want me to do as your elected representative? Do we continue to allow the flag raising ceremony, or do we deny the flag raising ceremony because of a concern raised by some people about human rights, right? So I know you're all passionate about talking your own problem. As I share with you my own problem already, okay? But I have chosen the path to move forward, to move on with my life, okay? Because I don't want to look back with hatred, okay? So this morning, quite frankly, I was surprised. There was, I shouldn't say majority, minority who was advising me. So some of them was quite ignorant about this flag raising. They say, well, I didn't know that it's happening here in the city of Markham. But they say, but why are we getting to this? I thought we elected you to improve our life, not to spend the time on flag raising. I say, well, that's what I want to do. But this is a decision that I have to make this afternoon. So as your elected representative, you mind I ask you one more time? What do you would like me to do? Well, obvious. Some people say, I don't know. Some people say, well, if it has been continued, Markham, it's a harmony play, let us continue. There are also few angry folks at the distance that listen to my conversation that came over and say, and I have to admit, those are Chinese people that say, hey, stop the flag raising. So I don't want to run into argument. So, I mean, when somebody confront me with bringing up a foreign issue, so I have to respond. So they're telling me, look at what happened in Hong Kong. I say, excuse me, so what are you trying to tell me? They say, this is what government of China did to Hong Kong. So I say, yeah, I see this. Every morning, 7:30, I open the news, I see the news on the TV. Okay, what's happening? The kids running around, they're storming the parliament, they're burning the office there. So I asked them the question, if I am going to storm the parliament here in Queen's Park, what do you think the police are going to do to me? And they look at me, you'll be lucky you're still alive. So I say, well then, those kids that stormed the parliament in Hong Kong, they are very fortunate, they're still alive, okay? So, you know, you want democratic, you know, you can say whatever you want. In our backyard, we don't have democratic. Let me tell you why. I worked so hard to get a regional chair election, but whatever reason, the premier canceled it. So if you were trying to lecture what China have to do in Hong Kong to have an election, we, in our backyard, we are using in the name of saving costs, we don't need an election for a regional chairman. So this is hypocrisy, right? So I can argue with any one of you who want to talk about human rights, so who are parading with those US flag proudly. Ask yourself the question, why human rights only apply to China, why it doesn't apply to those Arab dictators in Middle East? Because they are the friend of USA, because they can do whatever they want. They can kill the journalists in Istanbul and Donald Trump pretend nothing has happened, right? So, you know, you can argue with me, I have a response for you, but that's not my issue, that's world politics, I don't want to be, But here today, I have a decision to make, and my decision is, what will be the best interest for the city of Markham moving forward? You know, I don't want to be in the baggage, and I want to prove to Dr. Ying in the last 10 years, you know, he's wrong that what he did. By opening up, I help a lot of people, like statutory holiday, helping the Chinese grocery store owner, helping people to get visa. It's not my job, but they do come to me for visa problem, right? So hopefully down the road, you know, Dr. Ying will understand that, and whatever happened 10 years ago, or 16 years ago, you know, by looking his action today, the city council, he is not that type of person. So hopefully, you know, like with my example here, I want to have the courage, you know, after hearing, and I keep on saying, you know, if you're going to come and talk here about what have you suffered in the past, which I have my too, but I have made my decision to move forward. If you choose to still want to go look back at your work, that's your choice. Okay, and today I want to, because I have heard enough about you still, if you have come here to show me the evidence why the flag should not be raised here, I would have listened. But instead, you keep on lecturing me about human rights, you keep on lecturing me about what happened in other country, which I'm not interested to listen, okay? You know, I am interested to hear from you what I can do in improve the life for the citizen of Markham here. So I am decided to continue the tradition to welcome the people to celebrate in the city of Markham. Yes. And I will support them.
Even Dr. Reagan standing.
Emily is not standing there.
All right. Thank you. Regional Councillor Jones.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And